All right, now we are live. 2, 3, 4. I let it go live for like 10 seconds because there's a 10-second delay, so like 15, 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. Friday night. And away we go.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And then we have some technical difficulties followed by some idiotic editing right there from the producer myself. Struggled a little bit with the microphone. Rich struggling with the clock before we got started. Actually got a little bit wrapped up in watching the U.S.-Mexico game in soccer. I think it's 0-0 tie at the moment, but the U.S. had a little bit of momentum. They were on the doorstep of scoring and then had to come downstairs. So we had to go back to the dungeon. Yeah, the Ravens. Ooh, the Ravens. I don't think they just screwed just you. What was that all about?
I don't understand. Like, I guess it's just the Thursday thing. I mean, but I can't even say that because it happens on Sundays too. I mean, some of these teams just don't show up. And, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Ravens anyway. Super Bowl talk of the Ravens or Jackson MVP talk, I think is just silly. But I did not expect that last night.
I didn't expect. I mean, even Justin Tucker's missing field goals. So, I mean, if Justin Tucker's missing field goals, I feel like there are some people out in South Florida maybe with a little bit of like some little bit of magic going on in the background back there, putting a little bit of the jinx on Lamar. And I mean, if Justin Tucker's missing a field goal under 50, you know something ain't right.
The crazy thing about him too is even when he does miss, it was right there. Like he's not one of those kickers that yanks him or nothing like that. He's money 98% of the time.
Yeah, well, not last night. They could have used those 3 points. And then you can't stop them from coming down the field and scoring later on in the game when you need to get a stop. And then a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. But in any case, I did say that the line was too high. I just couldn't take that side. But Miami, I felt like 7 was the right number. And yeah, it's more like Baltimore plus 7 was the right number.
Yeah, and I mean,
and if it were Baltimore plus 7, 100% of the bets would have been on them, and Vegas would have cleaned house.
No, and I mean, the last few weeks, it is underdog city. I mean, it's 50-50. So if you're betting every underdog, you're coming out on the positive side. So,
well, I'm a little bit nervous coming into tonight, to be honest with you, because I think I've won like 7 in NFL bets in a row. So I went 4-0 last week, and I think the week before I went 3-0. So 7 in a row. And, you know, and we had Bill Krakenberger on talking about how it's the hardest sport to hit. I think on the show so far this year, the picks I put out are hitting at about 65%. So, and that's in the NFL. So the reversion to the mean is coming. I hope
you can't think like that.
To the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Don't think like that.
Well, I'm making up for it in the NBA, so that's okay. Where I should be hitting at a much higher rate, but I just can't seem to get anything right in the NBA these days. So, any case, let's get cracking on NFL Week 10, Sean. Let's get started. First game on the board is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're heading off to visit the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are laying 10.5 at home against Jacksonville, coming off that upset win against the Super Bowl-bound Buffalo Bills, at least in Sean's world. The Buffalo Bills are heading to the Super Bowl. I don't think if you can't beat Jacksonville, I mean, you should be disqualified from making it to the Super Bowl, even if you qualify for the Super Bowl.
Well, I feel like all teams and almost all sports at this point, they're losing to teams they shouldn't. So, I mean, almost every team we can just disqualify at this point. But I am starting to get nervous, even though, I mean, I guess odds-wise they're still good with the Buffalo Rams pick, but the Rams, too, adding Odell, that's not – I don't think it's helping, but we'll see.
They have one of those trades every year. You know, I remember when the Cowboys traded for Roy Williams way back in the day when he played from the Lions to the Cowboys, and everybody said, "Oh, the Cowboys are going to, Roy Williams didn't do anything. Nope. The reality is, what has he done? Nothing. He's not what he used to be. People are still thinking about OBJ as that guy reaching over his head, catching the ball against the Cowboys. He isn't that guy anymore.
Yep. Everybody always, that's what you look at. You look at the player's best thing, and that's what you have visioned, right? Like Cam Newton and everything else. And it's just not the same. As far as this game, it's too many points. every time I go with the favorite, giving up 10.5, it doesn't work out too well for me. And I really don't want to go Jacksonville here. It might be too many points though. Jacksonville
why
is getting better.
why not do Jacksonville?
I mean, the Colts should win this game by 2 touchdowns, but this should be, every time I say that, the team just doesn't show up. So Jacksonville's getting better. I'd lean the points, but I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, I would lean Jacksonville taking the points as well. As far as the total is concerned in this game, Sean, the total is 47.5. I have them coming in at 53. So if that line were to come down at another half a point to 47, I would take the over in this game. So because I'm looking for a 6-point differential. So if I could get 47, I'm on the over. But for right now, I am out of the over, half of a point away.
Yeah, I could see this one going either way. I think the number's set pretty good. I'd almost lean the under, though, the way Jacksonville's offense hasn't really been putting up the points. They finally, they played really good defense last week against Buffalo, or Buffalo's offense didn't show up. You got to decide that one. If you made me make a pick, I'd go the under, but I am going to stay far away from this total.
As far as the game itself is concerned, Sean, a little bit more than half of the tickets are on the Colts, but more than 70 cents on the dollar back in the squad from Indiana. And then as far as the total is concerned, you have about 60% of the tickets are on the under and about 70 cents on the dollar on the under as well. So it looks like folks are in line with your thinking, not mine. Next game on the docket, Sean, Cleveland and New England, 2 teams that have playing pretty well right now. The Cleveland seems to be on a little bit of a roll. Well, they got beat by Pittsburgh, then they smoked Cincinnati, so they're kind of on and off. New England, I think, has played better than most people expected them to play so far, I think, this year with a rookie quarterback. Cleveland on the road, getting 2.5 against the rookie quarterback. Do you feel like Cleveland can cover that number?
So, lately I've been, every time we come on, our first couple picks, I'm just firing away. I finally skipped the first pick, and now I'm going to double dip in this game. My number 1 pick of the week might be the under here. Might be
number
the
1
under.
Pick of the week. So Sean's going to
under
Sean's
45.
guaranteeing this game's going to be like 28 at halftime.
Yeah. Under 45. I think that total is way too high. These 2 teams have good defenses. New England's defense is playing really good. They both like to run the ball. Nick Chubb's out for Cleveland. So I really like the under. Yeah, COVID again. So, well, not again. He had COVID and hasn't been able to
get a positive,
negative
test
to get it. Yeah. So I'm going to go under 45, make that one bet, and then I'm going to take New England giving up 2.5 here. And Cleveland's without their best player. I think New England, Mac Jones has been playing exceptional.
I don't know that Dearness Johnson is any. I mean, he's run as well as anybody.
He did, but New England's defense has been really good. And I think and I hope not, but out of all the teams right now, New England's the sleeper and the most dangerous team in the league right now. They're putting everything together as the season goes on. They're winning.
I don't think they have any vertical threat to their offense. I don't think you can win in the big game if you can't make big plays, and I don't see them doing that.
Well, they can progress into that the rest of the year, but here I really like the under, and I also really like New England. So I'm going to take both.
Because the NFL is a big play league, Sean. That's what makes a difference between I think the really good teams and the not so good teams. So the game is at 45. I have the game coming in at 47, Sean. So you can get minus 45 under from minus 108, and then you can take New England, lay in 2.5 for minus 110. Like I said, I have the game going over by 2 points. So I mean, anything could happen. Field goal here, field goal there. And I have Cleveland covering. So I'm on the opposite side of both things with you, but not enough for me to make a play. So it can go either way in that respect. As far as the money and the tickets, the way they look, Sean, the Patriots, a little bit more than 50% of the tickets are on the Browns, but almost 70 cents on the dollar, taking the Patriots laying the points. As far as the total is concerned, about 60% of the tickets are on the over, with a little more than 55 cents on the dollar on the under. So you have, in both ways, you have the money on the opposite side of the masses, and you're on the side of the money both ways, Sean.
Wow. Okay. We'll see how that works out. I'll tell you, I was surprised when Chubb's listed out. I think this jumped maybe from minus 1.5 to minus 2.5. I actually thought the line might move a little bit more, but it didn't yet.
The Bucks, the Colts, the Cardinals, all money line for, I think, minus 127. I have a hard time, Drew, doing 3 teams for minus number. I feel like I feel like if you're doing a parlay, you should always try to get a plus number. That's kind of like just a little bit of a chiseled in stone in front of fire type thing. Speaking Atlanta and Dallas. So you got the Cowboys, Sean, laying anywhere from 9 to 8.5 to 7 if you're willing to pay up a lot for that number. What do you think about this game?
This is tough because I want to say Dallas will return to form this week. I think Prescott is going to look better. I don't think he was completely healthy last week. Elliott's questionable though, but that really don't matter neither because I think Pollard's just as good in it.
It's not because he's a good runner, a good catcher, but he's nowhere near the blocker that Ezekiel Elliott is, and I think that's why they haven't probably moved Zeke to another team.
Correct. So I'm going to lean the Cowboys, but I don't. After that performance last week and how bad they looked, I don't want to give up.
Atlanta's coming off a win in New Orleans.
Yeah, but it's New Orleans.
I mean, winning on the road in the NFL never gets but that's a good win.
I'm just saying the Saints did have Simeon started, and Simeon came in the week before, looked pretty good. He's, he is who he is. He's been around the league for a while, so. But yeah, Atlanta played well last week.
So from Winston to Simeon, what's the downgrade? Maybe you go from a 6 quarterback to a 5.3 quarterback. I don't really think it's that big of a downgrade. Maybe he does not have the leadership skills that Jameis Winston has, but that offense wasn't lighting up the scoreboard with Jameis in there. They did one game they scored, but I think the defense had 2 touchdowns where they finally got over 40. I actually have the Falcons covering this game. Looks like to me the line should be the Cowboys -7, not -8. So I feel like there's 1 point too many in this line. And as far as the total is concerned in this spot, Sean, I have the game going. Let's see, Cowboys, because these things are out of order compared to the way I have them on my computer. But the total is 54, Sean. At 54.5. I have them coming in at 54. So if I were going to do anything here, I would, half of a point. Lean under, lean Falcons. That would be the way the algorithm says to go. As far as the way the money and the bettors say to go, Sean. The tickets are favoring the Falcons a little bit more than 50% and more than 60 cents on the dollar on the Falcons. As far as the game is concerned, it's exactly flipped in terms of total, where you have about 53% of the bets are on the over, but 53% of the money is on the under. So 50-50 is really how that boils out.
Yep.
Buffalo, New York Jets. Buffalo's laying 11.5 to 12, Sean. Buffalo on the road. You just said you won't lay 10 points on the road. I got a feeling you're going to change your mind. You're going to from within 3 minutes.
No, I'm not taking Buffalo here. I'm actually going to take the Jets with the points. I mean, Buffalo's struggled against bad teams so far. And Mike White will start for the Jets, and they've been playing well with him. So I liked what I saw again before he got hurt. My only issue is actually if the Jets can stop Buffalo, because the Jets haven't stopped anybody the last couple of weeks. So there'll probably be a lot of points here. But I will take the Jets at home with the points here.
You and I are going to be on the opposite sides of things. I have the Bills covering at 12.5. So you give me 11.5, Sean. I'm taking the Bills all day. According to what's it called? Pythagorean wins and losses. The Jets are one of the worst teams in all of the NFL. So, and Buffalo is still, despite last week's terrible game, they got the bad one out of the way. They're going to show up this week with a little bit of an attitude. So I'm going to take Buffalo plus a minus 11.5 for minus 110. And you're going to take the Jets plus 12 for minus 110, Sean. And maybe the game will come in at 11 3/4.
I was going to say, that means absolutely no shot that we both cover.
Yeah. Unless they have some kind of weird scoring system
we'll find out
that we're unaware of, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the total in this game, as far as the over-under is concerned, is 47.5. And I have them scoring 47, Sean. So, again, right on the number. That tells me the way I'm creating my totals is probably not that far off the way Vegas creates their totals. So when I get one that looks like a bet, maybe it's a good thing to do. As far as the tickets are concerned, Sean, 70% of the tickets are on Buffalo, but more than that is money-wise is on the Bills. So it looks like most people feel like the Bills will cover that number. As far as the total is concerned, the tickets are split 50-50, but almost 70 cents on the dollar going over in this spot. The battle of broken back running backs, New Orleans minus Alvin Kamara, been ruled out already. Sucks for my fantasy football team. Tennessee, of course, everybody knows Derrick Henry is out. Somebody dropped them and I picked them up just because they might be, they say he might play the last 3 or 4 games of the year. Then I would have Kamara and Henry in my backfield. That would be pretty solid if you make it to the playoffs. But nonetheless, in the battle of the broken back, so you got Ingram versus Peterson. The New Orleans Saints head into Nashville, getting 3 points, or you can also have Tennessee minus 2.5. So I think you're better off with the -3 if that's the way you want to go. Sean, how do you like this game?
I like Tennessee here. I'm actually surprised this line's so low, especially with Kamara out. Like I said about Simeon and stuff, and Tennessee's offense is actually, you know what? Don't even bother with Tennessee's offense. Their defense has completely turned it around lately. And Tannehill's done what he's had to do, and he's not turning the ball over. So I like Tennessee here, and I'm going to take Tennessee.
You're going to take Tennessee. Actually, if Kamara was playing, New Orleans is the team. Kamara's not playing, so I'm going to stay off. But I actually am getting enough value to take the Saints. The only reason I'm not taking him is because Kamara is not there. It has nothing to do with Simeon. It's just the fact that Alvin and the Chipmunks are on the sidelines. I don't like the double dipping games either, Sean, but this total, even though both Peterson and both Henry and Kamara are out, I feel like that means that 2 offenses are probably have to open it up a little bit more. The total is 43.5, Sean, in this particular game, or 44. It's starting to move up a little bit. Get as low as 41. I have this game going way, way, way over that total, Sean. So I'm not going to double dip, but I'm going to take the over in this game, despite the fact that they're playing with backup running backs. One that was, I don't know what Adrian Peterson was doing 2 weeks ago. He sure as hell wasn't playing football.
So you're taking the Saints or you're taking the over? Because you're saying the over. Okay.
I don't double dip.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I actually was looking at kind of like the under because, like I said, Tennessee's defense has played really good the last few weeks. The Saints offense, worried about that without Kamara, with Simeon playing. And also, what's the best part of the Saints? Their defense. So I could see this being a defensive game.
Yeah, but they just gave up like 30 points to Atlanta.
I know that. I knew. Yeah, that's when I'm saying that. I'm thinking of Atlanta. They scored 28 points. I know.
And they also gave up like 40 points to
Tampa
Bay.
A lot of that was a lot
of points.
A lot of that.
I mean, if you think about their best defensive game was against like who? New Orleans? I mean, against Seattle, against Geno Smith. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well, the Atlanta game, a lot of that was at the end. They kind of just blew that. I'm going to stay away from that. I will just take Tennessee giving up 2.5. But if I had to go one way, I'd go the under.
I'm going the over. So as far as the game itself is concerned, Sean, a little bit, about 62% of the tickets are on the Titans, but almost 60 cents on the dollar is on the Saints. So the money is back in the Saints. The masses are back in the Titans. The total is concerned. The tickets are split right down the middle, but people are obviously listening to this show because 80 cents on the dollar is on the over, Sean. So big time tickets coming in on the Saints and the Titans, topping 44 points.
By tomorrow, now that you gave it out, it'll be at 95%.
Man, you know what it should be? That line should go to like plus 100. Tampa Bay versus Washington in Washington. Another big-time road favorite. So you got another big home dog. Actually, looking at some of the metrics, Sean, it looks to me like the Washington defense is starting to play a little bit better. Maybe Tom Brady runs into a defense that can get to him a little bit, Sean. Are you willing to take the old football team against the old football player?
No, I'm going to leave this game go because I could see this going either way. And honestly, it makes me nervous giving up that much again on the road. To watch, and Tampa Bay sometimes have problems stopping people too. They can score all the points.
They can stop you from running. It's just a matter of the pass that they kind of struggle with.
Yeah. So I'm just going to leave this game go. I don't really have a strong feeling either way.
I have Tampa Bay covering by 2 points, Sean. So, but not enough for me to go ahead and take them. The total in this spot, Sean, is 51 points. And I have the game coming in at exactly, hold on a second. Let me find that one for us. So they're all over the place. I have them coming in. This is another one, Sean, 51. I'm going to go over here, Sean, because I am coming in at 58. This is going to be a high-scoring game.
So that's relying on Washington's offense, though, to get in the shootout. I don't know.
According to this, I need 3 touchdowns from Washington. I think they could score 3 touchdowns. I have Tampa Bay scoring 35, and Tampa Bay, they tend to score.
Yeah, typically I just would be, but I did say Tampa Bay's defense gives it up too. So this is another one I could see going either way. Total set good. I'm just gonna leave that go.
You're going to let it go, but I'm going to take the over in the Tampa Bay-Washington game. I hope that the weather's not bad, though, because there was some bad weather here. Watching the soccer game, there's some bad weather in Cincinnati. Might make it out east by the time that game kicks off. So there might be some sleet and some rain and some cold. And, those Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not like to play when the temperature's around 32 degrees.
But Brady don't mind that, obviously. So, I mean, that's your key.
One out of 22 players.
Oh, your key one.
That's the most important one. So the tickets are concerned. 70% of the tickets are on Tampa Bay. About 80 cents on the dollar is on Tampa Bay. Most of the tickets are on the under. About 65% of the tickets are on the under, but more than 70 cents on the dollar. So the smart money is on the total going over, Sean. See, they are listening to me, Sean.
Yep. Yes, they are.
And they should. Like I said, though, I've been 7-0 the last 2 weeks, so I'm very nervous about this week. Because
Rich makes sure he comes on and it says NFL, he smiles. If it says college football, he turns his screen off and runs.
Yes, I should. Detroit and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh coming off a really big win, Sean. Maybe they're starting to actually 2 big wins in a row. Starting to kind of come to Pittsburgh form. All that talk about Big Ben and maybe too many Roethlisbergers in the offseason starting to kind of go away a little bit. The rookie, Najee Harris, looks like a real legit running back. Probably a good 10 years out of that kid. Yeah, Claypool might be out, but the wide receiving core is still pretty good with Washington and Deontay Johnson in Detroit. They're going to try to be the only team in the history of the league to lose every game, not once but twice.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is I don't think they were that impressive Monday. They struggled to win that game. They almost blew it.
But they won.
Yeah, they won, I know. What I am going to go here is I don't think
help from the ref sticking his ass out.
But yeah. Detroit's offense doesn't score as it is. Shouldn't really score much in this game. I didn't think Pittsburgh's offense was all that impressive. I think this is another under game.
Sean's going to go under. He's not even addressing the game in terms of total is concerned. The total is 43, Sean. You sure you want to play a total that's that low?
Yeah, because I think Pittsburgh may score some points, but Detroit's not going to score. I don't think Detroit makes it to double digits in this game. So I think this is a good shot to go under.
I think if they make it to double digits, you lose, though.
This could even be one you could bet Detroit maybe get shut out this game.
They're not getting shut out, Sean. It's the NFL. They'll find a way to score at least a field goal. I have the game coming at 44, 1 point over. So, I mean, you're going to be right on that one, I think, at the end of the game. If Detroit gets to 14, Sean, I think you're going to lose. You better hope they don't get to 14 because I do think Pittsburgh will put some points up on them. Although Detroit does have a decent pass defense. But like I said, Najee Harris looks pretty good. Pittsburgh's kind of balanced, which makes them kind of a little bit harder to defend. As far as the game itself is concerned, Sean, the line in that game is, I think, Pittsburgh by 8, right? Yeah, Pittsburgh late 8.5. I have in that game, where are they at? Steelers and the Lions. I have Pittsburgh winning and covering by a point. Again, not enough. So I have Pittsburgh winning by 9 or 10 points. As far as the way the money is being laid out in Las Vegas, you have almost 70% of the tickets are actually on the Lions, but 62 cents on the dollar is back in the Steelers. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, only 15 cents on the dollar is on the under, my friend. So You're betting against the crowd big time here.
Yeah, but I'm on the side of Vegas, and that's the side I want, right?
That's what they say. I don't know. I want to be on the side that wins.
Well, yeah, that in the end, yeah, absolutely.
Minnesota versus the LA Chargers. Early on in the year, LA looked like a really good team, but in a lot of ways, I think these two teams are very similar. A lot of talent, a lot of expectations, but falling short so far this season, I think, on both sides. So I think it's basically, two teams looking at each other, at least offensively, in the mirror.
Yeah, you you hit the nail on the head on this one. These teams, when they play for 2 or 3 weeks, they're the head scratching teams of the NFL. Why these teams can't put it together and why these teams can't win more? I don't know. But I will tell you, I prefer the Chargers over Minnesota by a lot. So giving up by giving up 3, I will do that, especially with the Chargers at home. I think Minnesota's going to have a harder time stopping the Chargers, and then the Chargers are stopping Minnesota.
So you have minus 115 with the Chargers for 3, or minus 105 for 3.5.
Ooh. Yeah, I'll just do the -3 for minus 115.
So minus 115. Okay. I'm really close to money lining the Vikings, Sean. Yes. I'm really close. I actually have the Vikings. This game, 3 points is the right number. I feel like that's the exact right number, which means it's in the wheelhouse for a money line. And Minnesota on the money line, you're getting plus 148. It's really, really, really close to me, and it's really, really close to me taking Minnesota and the 3 points. They're just too inconsistent for me to trust it. It's another team that has some kind of internal problems now with Dalvin Cook and his legal issues. So, although Madison is, I think, a more than apt fill-in for Dalvin Cook, they're talking about getting the ball to Justin Jefferson a lot more this week. I don't know if that's just a ploy or what, but the kid's definitely a playmaker. I think he's only been targeted like 7 times or something like that, 8 times in the last 2 weeks. So I would expect them to force feed, Jefferson the ball, and the kid can make big plays. So, and Minnesota's defense has not been that bad this year. They've kept them in every single game. So I'm within inches. This close, Sean, to taking Minnesota and the money line.
It's shocking to me that Cook is going to play, too. Usually when this kind of stuff's going on, they would stop him from playing till the investigation or whatever, but it looks like he's going to play.
Yeah, to me,
this has been back and forth.
I'm a big believer. Maybe I'm old school, Sean. I don't know, but if it's not on videotape and I don't have like proof that the guy slugged somebody or whatever it is that he supposedly did, I mean, I wasn't there. I haven't seen it. And I know that when the people have arguments, sometimes people make stuff up. This is just not, this is the way the world works. It's the truth. I know we want to hold people accountable and, we want to cancel them out for misbehaving. But I'm a big believer in no matter who you are, that you're innocent until you're proven guilty. And I feel like they should be able to play unless we have direct evidence of the charge. Like if it's a video where you see like Joe Mixon just flattening the person. But even in that situation, if you spit on somebody and then you blow smoke in their face and then you smack them and then they reflexively hit you back, I mean, what do you expect? I don't care if you're a guy or a girl. You're talking about guys that are quick twitch, who are alpha guys. And if you smack them, it's not like they have a choice. If you've ever studied, it's called fight or flee. It's kind of it's an adrenaline that people get when they're when they're in a high stress situation. And the people who have the flight response, it's reflexive. They don't even think about it. The people who have the flee response, it's reflexive. They don't even think about it. They just do it. So, if somebody's provoking you and you have that fight adrenaline, there's nothing you can do. It's impulsive. It's just like swallowing. And
this story, I mean, it's constantly back and forth. It's one side and the other. Who knows what? I will say the text message that he's supposedly sent, if that's his number and admitting to it, that does not look good. So that.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I still want to see how everything breaks out. To me, I think you got to innocent until proven guilty. It's a core of what makes the United States a lot different than a lot of other places in the world. And I think it should apply to everybody in every circumstance, unless, of course, you have video evidence. I mean, it's right there in front of you. And even then, sometimes there's context that you don't get to see in the video, like being spit on or blowing smoke in your face, or somebody says something that they ought not say. Maybe if people saying things doesn't warrant getting cracked, but it's just the way it goes. But anyway, as far as the game is concerned, 42% of the tickets are on the Vikings, only 35 cents on the dollar. So most of the tickets and most of the money, Sean, you are against Vegas this time. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, this is crazy, but the total is 48.5 and 90 cents on the dollar is on the under.
I have 53.5.
53.5?
Yeah, on FanDuel, it's 53.5 over under.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that most of the money.
Oh, you said 48.5. I heard.
Yeah, I'm talking about the money. The money, 98% of the money. As far as the total is concerned, let's see. Where is this game at? Vikings 53, right? That's where it's at.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
53.5. I have them scoring exactly 53. It's a stupid soccer tie.
Yeah, again, these teams that they can drive the field all the time, but sometimes they struggle for the field goal, which is going to hurt you with the 53. If it wasn't for that and they were more, I would go the over, but I'm nervous about these teams sometimes, so I'm going to stay away from it.
Carolina Panthers. They're going to start the kid from the XFL. I can't remember his name. PJ. Yeah, I just had it on my mind and it slipped. They're going to is Kyler Murray back? I know that I read that DeAndre Hopkins might still not play.
Yeah, Murray, I believe, will be back.
So Murray's going to be back, and with Murray coming back, the Arizona Cardinals are a 10.5-point favorite at home. Sean, do you think that's too many points?
It might be, it might not be, so I'm going to stay away from this game. Too many unknowns here. I mean, PJ Walker has shown flashes, but he usually shows flashes when he comes in the middle of the game. I know that one start he had, I don't think he looked all that great. This will be his second career start. So too many unknowns for me to go.
Let me ask you a question. How much worse can he be than Sam Darnold?
Well, that's true. I mean, wow. I mean, talk about a guy who might be on his way out of the league or backup, because now you've had two teams and you have not looked good. I mean, now at this point, he looks better with the Jets than he did with Carolina. So
the one thing I would say about PJ is that PJ brings a part to the game. PJ Walker, right?
Yep.
Yeah, he brings his feet to the game, something that Sam Darnold doesn't bring to the game. So I feel like you'll see him move the pocket around a little bit. I think that maybe there'll be some 3rd and 3s where Sam Darnold might have tried to force a throw and get deflected or intercepted, whereas Walker might convert that into a first down by being able to outsprint the defender to the first down marker. Couldn't remember the name of what the thing was. I had the picture in my eye, the orange thing, and what is that thing called? But I think PJ Walker extends this game a little bit, Sean, to be honest with you. I think he makes their offense a little bit more dynamic. Be the second week, so it's a second week off a layoff for Christian McCaffrey. So I expect him to improve. That speed number should go up for Christian McCaffrey. And I feel like that 10 points, 10.5 is too many. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. And I think they lose by a touchdown, but I don't think they lose by 10.5.
Yeah, I'll say this. PJ Walker, I've watched him in the XFL. I've watched him in the NFL. He's going to be one of those guys for a couple series. You go, wow, this guy's good. Why has he never got the shot? And then there'll be a series where you go, that's why. Because he just makes a bad throw or bad decision. And it just – but 10.5, yeah, it was too much for me to go Arizona. And I just didn't trust Carolina with it. But I agree with your pick here.
44 is the total, Sean. I have them coming in at 46. Not enough for me to make a play on it at all. Let's see if I'm an idiot or if I am the smart money. Yeah, it's pretty close. Most of the tickets, so I'm on most of the ticket side with the Panthers, about 60% of the tickets, but 45% of the money. So the people aren't running away from the Panthers. Cardinals are taking a little bit more money, a little fewer tickets. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, most of the tickets and 2/3 of the money are on the game going above 44. Seattle and Green Bay. So Chris Carson's not going to play, but Russell Wilson is going to play. I don't know what the word is on Aaron Rodgers yet. Have you heard anything in regards to him?
It sounds like he's going to be ready to play, but I don't think they're going to be. They don't know till tomorrow night. So Jordan Love will, of course, be ready to be the starter. Otherwise,
well, that's a much different game.
Yeah, it is.
So this is something I wanted to bring up last week. So we didn't bring this up, Sean. And I meant to bring it up on the Monday show with the what did you learn about the NFL thing. So let's talk about this real quick. I think last week proves without a question of a doubt that Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the NFL.
I disagree.
Okay, Kyler Murray's out. Arizona wins, right? Josh Allen plays. They can't beat Jacksonville. Go down every single team. Let's see what other team with a great quarterback that was out. The team won without him. Dak Prescott, he's out. Cooper Rush comes in, and the Cowboys still win. Kansas City, you can't give it to Patrick Mahomes right now. The only other player in the league, Cleveland, you know Baker Mayfield's out. The backup wins. You take out New Orleans. New Orleans wins with or without Jameis Winston. The only other player in the league that you might be able to point at to is Tom Brady. That's it. Seattle wins with Geno Smith, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but they don't win all of them. Or even half. What other one? Maybe half of them.
But they scored 7 points with Love. 7.
They did, but also none of those quarterbacks that came in were making their first career start like Love was.
But you know what?
It was also,
here's the difference. Love has been on the bench for a while. It's not like the kid is a rookie and he's just coming in after being drafted, in April. He's been on the bench. He knows the system. He's been playing with the team. He got the first team reps. There's no excuses. And he only was able to produce 7 points, albeit the field goal kicker missed a couple of field goals, Crosby, that he should have probably made. But even still, 13 points. Their offense was not the same. Devontae Adams looked horrible without Aaron Rodgers there. The offense just sputtered. Hands down, Aaron Rodgers is the MVP of the NFL.
Well, a couple things here. So I had a total different impression. Everybody thought he looked horrible. I disagree. By the end of the game, they started moving the ball. They started making the right play calls. I think the first half, they were making the wrong play calls, and he was undoubtedly completely nervous. He was not ready mentally. But physically,
my point is, look at how bad Green Bay's offense was. No matter what excuse you have, the offense.
But their defense was really good.
Devontae Adams is unquestionably one of the top wide receivers in the league, and he was almost a non-factor in that game. Aaron Rodgers, you take him out, Green Bay is a team that's competing for one of the top picks in the league. Every other team that's a contender, their quarterback missed games, they won without him.
I guess my other argument would be that Green Bay only lost that game by 6 because their defense played so well. Aaron Jones played pretty good with running and catching, that it wasn't that far off. This team is good, no matter what.
The only thing is they have lost. They scored 7 points, hands down.
Yeah, I know.
And the other teams that were the MVP candidates are on. The other teams with MVP candidates, Sean, won with their backup quarterbacks. So that's case closed. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about the game. Seattle versus Green Bay. It looks like Aaron Rodgers is going to come back after taking Joe Rogan's therapy for the COVID. Worked for him, worked for Joe Rogan. Maybe works for you. Seattle and Green. It didn't work for the White House, though. They were pretty upset with Aaron Rodgers. Seattle and Green Bay. Seattle is laying 3.5 at home, getting Russell Wilson back. No Chris Carson, but you're going to see Alex Collins pounding 3 yards in a cloud of dust. So do you think Seattle can head into Green Bay and win?
No, I'm going to take Green Bay and give up the points here. Like I said, Green Bay this year is a lot better than they were in years past, where they were all Aaron Rodgers. Their defense has played well. Their running back. I'll tell you what, the other thing with Aaron Jones, I should have brought up A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon has looked good these last couple of weeks. So I like Green Bay here.
So Green Bay, and then let's see, how do I like this game right here between Green Bay and Seattle? I actually have Seattle covering. So a lot of games that you're on, I'm on the other, and I didn't know until I look at it, but pretty close to actually taking.
So minus 3.5, and what's the?
You're getting minus 3.5. You're getting plus 100 actually, Sean.
Wow,
so that's a good number. Yeah. So if Green Bay covers, just what if they win by 3? That plus line is not. I'd be much happier at 3 if I were taking Green Bay in this game. I'd see that coming down to a field goal at the end. As far as the total is concerned, Sean, the total in this game, so 49.5 is the highest number, or you can go as low as 49. What do you think?
I think that's way too high of a number. I really don't want to double dip in 2 games, but I feel like that is way too high. You got the unknown of the quarterbacks. I mean, Wilson's coming back. Rodgers is probably coming back. If Rodgers don't play, it's going under, because you're going to see a game like you did last week. And Seattle's offense has been inconsistent all year, even with Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna double dip. I'm gonna take the under here.
Wow, you scare me. I'm taking the under too, Sean. I have this as one of the actually lowest scoring games of the week, only coming in at 41 points. So I have a big enough gap there. So I'm going to do the under as well. So I'm going to take you and I are on the same side. If Drew joins us, we know it's an absolute winner.
Yeah.
Money. As far as the game is concerned, Sean, a little bit more than half of the tickets are on the Packers, but closer to 60 cents on the dollar. You and I are on the wrong side of the total, my friend. Most of the people are thinking like you and I. About 60% of the tickets are on the under, but Over 60% of the money is on the over. I'm kind of surprised because when I saw that number at Green Bay, Seattle, Russell Wilson's coming back, I figured everybody would be on the over, but I guess not. Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia looks like they might be getting the ship kind of straightened out a little bit. Jalen Hurts finally finding Devontae Smith last week. Devontae looking like the wide receiver he was at Alabama. Jordan Howard, I don't know what's going on with that guy. I mean, between him was probably, I don't know what he was doing 2 weeks ago. He and Adrian Peterson were both hanging out. Now they're both starting in the NFL. Denver is laying 2.5, Sean.
Yeah, so I'm going to lean Denver here, but I'm not going to make this official. I feel like this is probably a field goal game that Denver wins. But I'm also nervous. Was that kind of just a mirage last week? How good they looked against Dallas. So I'm going to stay away
Teddy
from
Bridgewater. You know, Teddy covers. That's his name, man.
That is his name.
Like if he were on The Sopranos, his name would be Teddy Covers.
So I'm going to lean Denver, but I'm not going to make that one official.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Denver too. I have them winning this game by about 4 points, so they would cover in that respect. As far as the total is concerned, I have the two teams combining for 42 points. The total in the game is 45, so slightly under. So my both leans for me, lean Denver, lean the under. As far as the rest of the betting public is concerned, Sean, most of the money in tickets are on Denver, and most of the tickets are on the over. But a huge, almost 90 cents on the dollar is on the under. So you got a big discrepancy between the masses and the money. There's some big bets out there, Sean, on the under in that game.
Yeah.
The final game of Sunday evening, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. Just read Patrick Mahomes says, screw it. I don't care what kind of defenses they're playing anymore. I'm going to force a couple of downfield passes. I don't know if that's good or bad or what, but that's what he says. You got Las Vegas, who last week they lost, even though they outplayed the Giants for the most part of the game. That 99-yard touchdown or whatever, they got a touchdown interception for a touchdown. I think the Giants got. Maybe it wasn't 99 yards, but that was the Cleveland game. That was 99 yards. Yeah.
Yep.
So Kansas City heads off to Sin City. What do you think is going to happen in that game?
So
you're going to do it. Kansas City's finally going to make a statement.
No. I was watching that game last week, and I said Green Bay +7. I even at one point took them, to win the game, and they were good value. Anybody else would have beat this Kansas City team last week, or if Love was ready to go, they'd play calling. Kansas City is. I can't keep doing this. That they're gonna,
So you're going to bet against them?
Around. Yeah, I like the Raiders here, and I'm shocked. I'm kind of I shouldn't be surprised because people are still visioning Kansas City as Kansas City, and if you watch the games, they are not. I don't think this is the week they turn it around. So
I think they're going to make a statement, Sean.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if they're going to make a statement. They might make one after the game. I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire might be back because they said he looked great in practice. I think that can make a difference because I think he's a little bit more dynamic in terms of what he can do than what Williams has done so far. And I think at some point you'll start to see Kelsey stop dropping balls. Nicole Hardman, I think losing Sammy Watkins is probably more of a loss than they realized, even though he's been pretty much a non-factor in Baltimore. He's been dropping a lot of passes in Baltimore, that's for sure. Nicole Hardman or Robinson or Pringle, one of those guys has to step up and be a secondary option for Mahomes. I feel like having Clyde Edwards-Helaire come back is a little bit more of that option outside of Kelsey and Tyreek Hill. So I think you'll see the offense pick it up a little bit this week, Sean.
Yeah, no, I think the Raiders win this game because the Raiders are going to score one way or the other. And, you said about Mahomes saying about he's going to force the ball. I don't know, if you watched the game last week, he did that 5 or 6 times, and every time it wasn't close. I mean, the defense is there. So, yeah, go ahead, throw it up. Do your thing, but it's just falling incomplete or getting intercepted. So I think the Raiders win this game. And
so you can money line them?
Yep.
Raiders money lines +125. So that's not enough for me to even think about taking Las Vegas. I actually have Kansas City winning, Kansas City covering, Sean, but not by enough to take Kansas City. As far as the total is concerned in that particular spot, Sean, I have this game coming in at 52 points. And the total is 52.5. So I got another stupid soccer tie to end the Sunday night football.
I'm not going to double dip again, but come Sunday night, depending how my day
You're going to
goes,
be chasing.
this may be another under because I'm not sure where you're going to get the points if Kansas City's offense keeps struggling here. I don't think this is the week they just turn it around. So if I'm thinking the Raiders are not winning, Kansas City's offense is going to struggle again. I don't see this being like a 40-21 game, even if the Raiders win. So I think the number's too high. People are still thinking Kansas City's offense. So I would lean the under right now and maybe come Sunday night play it.
I have exactly on the total. The Chiefs, according to the betting public, 2/3 of the tickets, 75% on the money on the Chiefs, Sean. Most of the people, the smart money, think they're going to make a statement.
Yeah, they keep thinking that. I mean, that's kind of like Cincinnati tonight in college. They keep thinking, oh, they're going to win this game and they keep failing to cover the total. So,
which is kind of crazy because you feel like Cincinnati. I know we're kind of switching sports there, but they have to make a statement.
Yeah, and it's kind of my point though. Like in the betting world and what people keep saying, they're gonna make a statement this week. They're not. What is different this week that Kansas City? I mean, one of these weeks they probably will, and I'm going to be wrong about it, and those people will be right. But what about this week is going to make that? I don't see it. I mean, the Raiders defense
in the dome makes the game a little bit faster. They have faster players. If I have a good Sunday morning, I'm going to back the Chiefs in the evening. And I'm going to take them to cover because I feel like they are the better team. They have the more explosive players. They've been playing way, way below the norm at some point in time, Sean. They're not going to make a statement, but they're going to revert to the mean. And when they go back to that mean, they're going to score 50 points in the game. It might not be this game, but it's coming for sure. And as far as the total is concerned, Sean, about a little more than 50% of the tickets are on the over, but a little bit more than 50% of the money is thinking like you are, and they are taking the under. So that week that wraps up. Believe it or not, Sean, I can't believe it's week,
double digits. Yeah,
week in 10. Yeah, where does life go, Sean?
I have no idea. It is crazy. You add an 18th week, and it flies even faster than when we had 17, or at least it feels like it. Maybe that's just for us because this is our first year doing it.
It's snowing outside in Chicago today. So first snow week 10, it's like, oh man, what in the hell? Why don't I live in Miami? What? Why does anybody live in the north? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know how hardy them people must have been like in the 1600s and the 1700s. If it's 85 degrees outside, we're running inside, and if our air conditioning is not working, we're all crying, you're all comfortable. And in like the 1600s, dudes wore like wool suits to work in the middle of the summer. And they must have been complaining like hell, but they didn't know anything about air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, think about how hardy those people must have been. We must seem like total soft asses.
I will say though, I'm the same way with the heat, man. When the air conditioner is not working or something like that, it is just miserable. When it's cold though, it is what it is. You can add more layers,
I hate the cold.
But I know people hate the cold. I will say the last year.
Here's why the cold is worse, Sean. Here's why cold is worse than more people die when it's cold when it's warm. But that's besides the point. If you're hot and you come inside and the air conditioning's on, you cool off like that. If it's cold, really cold outside, you can come inside, the heat's on, you still have a chill an hour later. Yeah. Right? Does that happen to you too?
Yeah, it can, but I also have the same, when you come in all sweaty and that air conditioner hits you, now you got like sweat frozen on you. You still have that like muggy,
you're still cool
feel.
But your body comes down in temperature much quicker.
I will say, I can tell you I'm getting older because cold hasn't been bothering me. I'm able to tough through the cold. The last year or two, it's starting to bother me a little bit more. So I can tell as you get older, I don't think the cold does you any favors.
Nope, it doesn't do me any favors at all. I hate the cold. I hate it. I was born in July, so I'm a summertime baby. And people who are born in summer months tend to like, I don't know if this is true or anecdotal.
I was born in June, so we're about the same.
All right. I will, I guess that wraps up week 10, Sean. Hopefully our picks are hot, but not necessarily cold, right? More summer than they are winter. For sure. Any final thoughts of wisdom before we get out of here? If you're going to parlay two teams, which would they be?
Oh, if I'm going to parlay two teams. So I'm going to, wow. So I will take New England, Cleveland under the 45, and I will take Tennessee giving up the 2.5.
If I were going to do a total, A 2-team parlay, I would take the over in the Tennessee-New Orleans game. I know Sean says on that one because he doesn't like the fact that you got some running backs that might not be there and offenses and good defenses and all that good sort of stuff. And if I were going to – and I would pair him with the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are going to make a statement, Sean.
We'll see. I mean –
they're playing the Jets.
Well, they should score a lot of points, but I think the Jets are going to score too.
But Buffalo has a good defense. So
they do, and the Jets usually actually do struggle against Buffalo offensively, but a lot of that was with Darnold. Darnold just did not fare well with Buffalo.
If I'm going to say this, if they get to 28, Buffalo, they cover.
So that would say the Jets are only scoring 16 points.
Yeah. Like I said, if they get to 28, they cover.
I think the Jets score a lot as long as Mike White stays healthy here. Because I do not want to. If he gets hurt, I do not want to see Flacco. I mean, that
Mike White's going to throw at least 2 interceptions, Sean. He's going to give Buffalo at least 10 points. He's going to give us the difference.
I hope not.
He will. Absolutamente.
So far, he's been exciting to watch, and he's a jolt of momentum. So I hope it stays that way for a little while.
Yeah, the favorite player in every town is the backup quarterback until they find out why he's the backup quarterback.
Yeah, but he's young enough too that he hasn't gotten his chance, so this is his chance.
Okay. His chance to prove why he's the backup quarterback. All right, Sean, that wraps up this week. If folks like the show and they want to tell their friends about it, where can they find it?
Facebook and Twitter. Also subscribe to our YouTube, and then also go to moneylinemadmen.com. Completely free to join and put your thoughts out there and see our thoughts.
And completely free to fade my NBA and make yourself a billionaire. No question about it. Because this happened to me last year too at the NBA. I started at the beginning of the year, and then from like January on, it was just I couldn't miss. So I don't know why it's like that. I hope it's a repeat because January is not that far, not that far away, unfortunately, anymore. Looking forward to the New Year's Bowl game, so I don't have to pick college football anymore.
Well, I don't know what the Bulls are doing. I know they were up, but if I get the Bulls plus 5.5, I was 4-0 today. So I'm going to try to keep that going.
Indeed. All right, Sean, everybody, have a fantastic week. Hopefully, like I said, I've won 7 in a row. Hopefully, I can continue to stuff your pockets full of NFL cash. Sean can stuff them full of NBA cash and hopefully some NFL cash as well. Sean and I will be back on Monday at 5:30 Eastern to talk about Monday Night Football, the NBA, college basketball, and whatever the hell else is going on at that time. It seems like every sport on the planet's being played. Until then, folks, as always, may all of your tickets be winners.